Therapy Army, where are you? Where are you, Therapy Army? Where are you? Some of you might know and remember I wasn't too confident. I'm not too confident, and we talked about the first goal. We talked about with Manny back here, the Villa fan who was at the actual game today. We talked about last night that the new manager, the fact that they had 7 days to rest, the fact that we're fatigued and tired, the fact that Man United cannot, without rotating, cannot. And I don't care if those other players that we've got are not the same quality. This manager has to rotate, or the season is going to have a car crash. This is an unprecedented season. World Cup congestion before the World Cup starts, after the World Cup as well. And this season is going to burn and crash before it even begins. Today we got outfought, outworked, out-tacticked, everything. And for the first time, Erik ten Hag is going to come in for criticism from me. That doesn't mean that I'm Erik ten Hag out. No, you can have constructive criticism of the manager. Today was not good enough, but it's been coming, people. And I kept saying it. I said it, and people were having a go at me at West Ham. I was like, this is unsustainable. I said those words. Manny, big up, bro. Thank you for coming back. Yeah. What do you say about the game today from your point of view, on Villa point of view? It must have been absolute scenes in the stadium.
Absolute scenes, bro. Absolute scenes. I just want to echo what you said. Out tactic, out fought, literally from start. I'll say first half, we outplayed you most of it. You could see what Unai Emery was trying to do. We're trying to suck your players into our half and then create space in behind for Bailey and Watkins to get in behind and score. And obviously Bailey got his goal earlier on as well. But yeah, you guys got outfought. I didn't expect that from United as well, because that's your first loss, isn't it? After a very long time.
Yes, it is. It certainly is. But I kept saying this loss was coming. It was coming, brother. Those of us who are called negative, when we speak the reality of what we see, we knew this was coming.
Yeah, 100%. I just thought, like I said, we got the goals earlier on. Maybe second half, you lot did have quite a few chances, but I mean, Martinez did make two big saves. But after that, it was just Villa. I'll say from start to finish. To be fair, you had a few chances, but like I said, not I want to say threatening ones, were they?
Yeah, I thought your in-game management was really good. I thought the way you managed the game, the way you saw the game out, we huff and puff, but not really create anything. What did you think of Ronaldo? How old are you, Manny?
I'm 19.
Okay, so you're very young. So you don't remember Ronaldo back in the day when we used to play you at your stadium. So you won't remember him. So it's difficult for you to contrast that. But what did you think of Ronaldo's performance? Not individualizing it, by the way. I thought as a whole team, we were not from back to front to the middle, not good enough today. The aggression and the intensity goes when you keep playing this game after game after game after game. That's what happens. But Therapy Army, tune in, man. It's a Sunday. Welcome. Come right in front of the congregation. And when I say this goes back to, you know who, because the Glazers saying they're not going to buy, and you can see our team's fatigued. For me, he has to rotate this team. But, Manny, who stood out for you? For me, from seeing it from your side, we struggled. What I liked about Villa's play today was the variation in movement between your front three, and how they will one of them will go long, one of them will drop in the hole, and the other one will go wide, right?
100%, yeah.
That variation we couldn't cope with. Manchester United play better with a system, Erik ten Hag system, when we're together, when we're quiet, compact, and tight. We couldn't do that today because your players made it impossible. You dominated us in the midfield. Eriksen, we were talking about it last night. Eriksen saying Eriksen has to play, but he has to play more up the pitch, because deep-wise, defensively, you're offers absolutely nothing. And that's why I was talking about Fred last night in that preview. I was saying maybe we should play Fred. We can't play Donny and Eriksen together. So, yeah, and Ronaldo is just a ghost, innit? He's just a ghost.
Yeah, the thing with Ronaldo is...
And people were telling me Ronaldo would have scored that chance Rashford had against Newcastle. He had a better chance than Rashford today. What happened with the header? Nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. The thing with Ronaldo is he's coming towards the tail end of his career now, isn't he? And the thing is, with Ronaldo, he's not pressing at all, and that's what Man United need. You need that energy. You see with Villa, Ollie Watkins, Bailey, all of our players were pressing hard up the pitch when you had the ball. But the thing with Ronaldo is he hasn't got that intensity like he did before in his career. And I just think that unfortunately, he's a great player in his time, but it just looks like it's coming to an end. Not to dig him and stuff like that, but it just shows that he still hasn't got that. So the X factor intensity. He had a few shots as well over the bar, but I wouldn't say he was a real threat for Villa today, to be honest with you, Nuruddin.
No, he wasn't. Tom, I'd like to get you. Let me just get to Sean. Sean, send me a message. Send me a message on Twitter, and then I'll send you the link. Send me a message on Twitter, and I'll send you the link. Tom, I know you watched the game, like most of us. Manny was there. Manny's a season ticket holder of the Villa. He was there today, so he can give us that side of it. What did you see from what you saw? I kept saying this was coming. My words that I used after the West Ham was, this is unsustainable.
Yeah,
this is unsustainable. And I told people that players who are gassed out, the likes of Bruno, the likes of Rashford,
I've got a point to make with this though, with this bollocks about fatigue, because I don't want to hear it with some of these players, if I'm being perfectly honest. Because they had They had three. No. They had 3 or 4 months slacking last season. So what's the excuse this season? You're tired. I can't be. Last season you couldn't be arsed. Now this season it's you're tired. But no, I'm sorry. There's so you can go for as many excuses as you want of tiredness, of fatigue, of missing a player here and there. Players go missing over time in games, or they don't play. You can't rely on Martial. We said that at the start of the season. You can't rely on him to play number 9. What do the club go and do? They don't go buy number 9. You saw today, what did we lack? A number 9. You lack that vocal point. Even Villa, for example, in the games that they play, yeah, they might have Watkins who can run in behind or Leon Bailey who can run in behind. But Villa's main vocal number 9 is who? Danny Ings. That is, and I'm sure Manny would probably agree with me on that. In terms
100%. Yeah.
You have a set striker at your club. We don't have that. We've got one who's 38 and who I'm sorry, he's finished in the game of football. I don't see Ronaldo hitting any more heights, I don't see him winning any more medals. I just don't see where it's going to come from. Frustration was today with Unai Emery, and he is the master of the 4-4-2. Sit back. Honestly, he's probably the Spanish version of Sam Allardyce. And I know that might sound disrespectful, but in terms of the pedigree, he takes Sam Allardyce's tactics in football to European level. That's just how much tactical analysis he does. He knew exactly what he was doing in terms of suck Manchester United to the halfway line, then play on the counter-attack where you have Leon Bailey, you have Watkins, and make Man United run back to their own goal. Because they're not good at it.
Guandia was brilliant today. Guandia was brilliant.
Yeah, Guandia was brilliant. Creative play, brilliant. But in terms of the whole game, there was no emphasis from Man United. There was no plan, if I'm being perfectly honest. I mean, you go 2-0 down after the first goal, David De Gea. What the? I'm sorry. What the hell? How he's not even saved that? I don't know. To be perfectly honest, it's gone across him. He's moved his legs as if he's going to save it with his legs. Most goalkeepers in world football save that with their hands, push it to the side comfortably. So I don't know how that's going in. The free kick, I'll give props to that. Brilliant free kick. I think most goalkeepers in the world would struggle to get anywhere near that. So I give props to Lucadinho for the free kick. The goal that got us back into the game, I mean, lucky deflection. There's nothing more that you can really say about that. Ericsson, midfield, completely gassed out. The man's gassed out. Most of these players, they're blowing hot and cold. But
I think with Man United as well.
Yeah, Man United. Yeah, and Villa. I don't blame a lot of these players, but these players, you slacked off for 3-4 months last season. I don't have any sympathy. I'm sorry, I don't. I genuinely don't have any sympathy for some of these people.
But Tom, listen, I understand you don't have any sympathy for them, but it's going to ruin the season. I kept saying everybody was shutting me down. I said it's unsustainable. That's what I used as the West Ham game.
Of course, but our owners don't want to invest heavily.
And the second half of Chelsea, As soon as Varane's not on the pitch, Varane's not organising. We don't just miss Varane because he's positioning, and we're missing because of his leader and organisational skills, where he's getting people to come tighter and closer together. I'll go to Mundo. Mundo, did you watch any of the game? Did you see any of it?
I've just seen the highlights, but the thing I will say is 2 points that I made. People on here were laughing at me when I said, in order for United to play the press, the intensity, you've got to play Fred in that midfield. I'm sorry, you have to. You've got to play Fred. There's no legs in there. Eriksen's got no legs. I love Eriksen. I thought he's played brilliantly, but he's gassed out. The best game of the season is against Tottenham, and that was because of Fred. Yeah, he's gonna get hot and cold. He's not great on the ball, but when you go away to those games, like against Fulham, I'm putting Fred in the team. I'm sorry, I am, right? Because you know you're in for a battle. Those teams are gonna fight you, so you have to outfight them. So you need players in the pitch who can outfight them. Fight fire with fire. That's number one. We don't have the quality yet. And the second thing is, I've said this before, until that team has got at least 6 or 7 of Ten Hag's players in, boys, strap yourself in, because this is what you're going to see, the inconsistencies, because these are the majority of the players that played last season. So I don't know why people, it starts saying, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. Yes, there's been 1 or 2 additions to that team, but I've said it before. You need more of Ten Hag's players than the previous players, because those players will continue to let you down. And I know they're tired. I get that. They are tired, right? But so other teams in the league, and they're still getting results.
Yeah, but they've got better squadrons than us. They've got more balance in their squads. And he knows we've got shit players. Like, people lost their minds when Ranić said Manchester United need 10 players. He was not lying. He's not lying.
And why is our manager right? This is what I don't understand. I'm sorry, I said this as well before. This is another point I made previously. And you can check the records, whether I'm right on this or not. I've said before, when United play Ronaldo, they struggle to score more than 1 goal in a game when he starts. And you can look at the records. I don't think there's a single game other than Sheriff where he started, where we've scored more than 1 goal where he started, right?
We don't create.
And the chance he missed today with that header, right? We criticise Rashford for missing chances. He's missing chances, like Rashford misses chances now. So we're not even getting the positives of Ronaldo, him banging it in. But so you might as well just put Rashford down the middle, because that helps the team more than having him there. I'd rather play Rashford as the number 9. At least he moves defenders around. He gives you some fluidity. Yes, his finishing is not great, but Ronaldo's finishing at the moment is poor. He misses chance after chance. So I'm not sure what he brings to the team. I don't want to just dig him out, because there are other players that haven't performed today. But that is a major, major factor. You've got
of course it is. We've got no focal point. Tom just spoke about it. When we have him in the team, it takes away from everybody. Everybody tries to set him up. Nobody's at the center core. He doesn't run the channels. He doesn't hold up the ball. He's not even winning any flick-ons. He's not even taking any chances. He's 1.5 yards slower. He can't turn anybody. Even if he's got 2 yards on somebody, they catch him up quickly and close him down. All of those things. Today, the 2 people that might as well being 2 Villa supporters, Manny and his brethren, should have been on that pitch with their cigars playing against Ronaldo. Trust me. The 2 centre-backs today, Mings and what's the other guy called there?
Konsa, yeah. They were on it.
Konsa and Mings, easiest day they're going to get. One of the easiest days. And for anybody to get any best out of Van der Beek, you need somebody who can hold up the ball. You can play 1-2 touch around the corner with. You can't do that. You can't do that. And the biggest thing for me, what I've noticed, is that Erik ten Hag has coached his team to go and play through the middle, to slide balls through. Soon as any team locks that down, we haven't got a plan B. It's been 20 games now. Erik ten Hag, wake the fuck up. We have to have a plan B when the team shuts down the central areas. We have to have a plan B. There's no combination play. other than Luke Shaw putting in crosses. There's no combination play. There's no like around the corner like overlapping from fullbacks because usually Diego Dalot's playing more as the inverted right back and then doing anything. Rashford looked lost today on that outside, but I said it against West Ham. Rashford was gassed out. That's why he didn't start the game. He came on, and today he was gassed out. I'm gonna come to you, Bumbaye, but let me just get this. Let's keep the facts straight. Aston Villa had no chance between the 17th minute until they scored their third. But you know why that is, Jarvis? That is classic Unai Emery. He knows we've got two goal lead. Set traps for this team. Let's hit them on the counter. Let's not get too giddy. Let's not go and get emotional about the game. The game management from 2-0, right, to 3-1, perfect to the end of the game. So, of course, they're not going to go gun-ho because they found themselves, wow, we're bullying this team. We got there that 15 minutes. They had the chance. They took their chance. And then they're 2-0 up. So why they have to go for it? Why they have to go crazy? They didn't have to go crazy. Go ahead, Bumbaye. How did you see the game? For me, intensity, and the last thing is this. Intensity and aggression is lost when players are mentally and physically fatigued. Mentally and physically fatigued, trust me, I got a sports study degree. Mentally and physically, when you're fatigued, you cannot be aggressive. You cannot play with a lot of intensity. You can't. You cannot. There has to be a rotation, even though the squad is shit. Manchester United have one of the biggest squads in the Premier League. We've got a squad of 30. But go ahead, Bumbaye.
Back to life. Back to reality. Yes, boys. The same old shit I seen today. What I seen today, bro.
Listen, man is 19. Manny, ask your mum and dad about Back to Life, Back to Reality. Classic British soul band.
Yeah.
Soul to soul.
Yeah, good evening, boys. Good evening, Manny. Welcome. Congratulations. You deserve the 3 points today. Big up, bro. I missed the first half. I caught all of the second half. I seen today, like, everybody didn't play well today. I felt sorry, I'd say, a little bit for Diogo. I thought he was a little bit better than everybody else. And Martinez today, I felt sorry for. He started, you know, he doesn't like to lose at all, that guy. He was not happy. So, that being said, that's the worst midfield performance I've seen from Casemiro. He looked absolutely lost, and I hear the tiredness. I'm not saying the boys weren't tired or anything like that. We'll take all that on board. I'm just giving you what I saw. And Unai Emery is a good manager. He's I wouldn't say he's Guardiola Klopp level. He's just maybe a notch below, but that's still a very, very competent, good manager that's managed big teams, big players, and won things. And he can hold his own against the big boys. And I think Villa, going into this game, I look at Villa's roster and I see some very good players there. I just think Stevie G undersold it. He didn't do that team justice. And I just thought they were walking through the midfield and, you know, games like this, Eriksen, man, he's just spraying these balls around. He's ineffective. You need to turn up to Villa and do two things. One, you can't allow Villa to just be breaking like that, walking through midfield. They were doing it way too easily. Watching the highlights first half, it was pretty ridiculous. You know what I mean? Casemiro was lost today, and Eriksen is not going to be able to help him out in that situation. So you have to put in a Freddie in there. You can bring Eriksen on later on, but you've got to be strong in there. You know what I mean? This is Villa away. It's not an easy game. Good team.
Or even McTominay. Like, this is a shock
Yes,
for you guys.
yeah.
It's a shock for you. Even a McTominay today.
You need disruptors in there. You need disruptors. Casemiro, you know, it wasn't easy today.
He was doing it by himself. He was doing a one-man job in midfield, 1 against 3.
Well, I mean, he wasn't doing any job. He wasn't picking up his men. They were just ghosting behind him. He looked completely lost.
He was our best player on the pitch. You need to watch the whole game.
No, I disagree with that, bro. I thought he was awful today. He picked up a little bit, but The whole midfield in general, there was no service for the forwards, and you're not going to get service once Villa go ahead. You know, we've played Villarreal, guys. You know what Emery is capable of doing. He's brilliant. He'll just shut you out. He won't give you a chance. Even our goal was an own goal. So as soon as they go 2-0 up after 11 minutes, you're thinking, yeah, can we break them down? What is it that we do really badly? We don't know how to break teams down when they defend deep. We still have that same age-old problem that we've always had, and that's one that Ten Hag really has to address. And in order to address that, he's going to have to develop the wide players to know how to ghost in behind. That's what you have to do when it's so difficult. I seen Villa at one point once they got their goals, and it's right to do it. You know, they know that we struggle to break teams down. They got 2 goals in 11 minutes. I seen 7 guys on the back in a back line right across. There was no width even, and then I seen 3 in front of them. So it was a done game. We've seen this before. When you give Brentford a 3-4-0 lead, whatever it is, it's very hard to come back into games like this, especially when you're a team that cannot break a low block down or create many chances. So the midfield didn't give anything in terms of cover, and we had nothing in terms of service. So it was one of them games. It was done after 11 minutes, really. And we did have a lot of the ball, but they simply said, come and break us down. We know you can't. And that's the narrative of the game. Pretty straightforward. And we're going to get these days at the office. It's going to happen. And that's it. That's your assessment there, man.
Irfan, yes, brother. How are you? Irfan, smash. By the way, we were watching till 6 o'clock in the morning. We were in Russia getting some food, and we were watching the cricket, Pakistan. So Pakistan somehow won. We were playing. Irfan was a vinyl only community last night. Irfan smashed it out of the park.
You see that record?
Thank God I had that last night. I had that bit of music because Man United. I would be a lot more now if I didn't have that release last night. Because I would be going crazy, right? I don't have any hair. I'll be pulling it out, right? But big up, Irfan. How did you watch the game, Irfan? And are you happy with Pakistan winning the cricket?
Of course, I watched the game, man. Of course, I watched the game. I mean, obviously, the cricket. We didn't. I didn't get to bed till 7 this morning because when we left to Bangladesh's innings, I thought I got to stay up and watch Pakistan's innings. So, and it was going to be a great weekend apart from watching Man United. But was I really surprised though? And it felt, to be honest with you, I watched watching the game.
If I just hold it there, let me just get these couple of super chats, please. 1 second. A big up Ronald Jacob. He says, "You want to play Rashford at opposition, and number 9 when he misses, he's okay. Ronaldo doing the same is criminal. Fair. Ronaldo's got to go, but Eriksen can't run either. The whole squad is problem 1. Sammy Assie's been found. He says, good evening, top of the league." You can't give Sammy Assie. We have to give Sammy Assie. You know what, Sammy Assie? The therapy army gives it to you, but we're also mature enough to know we're going to take it. Good evening, he says. Good evening.
Yeah, we got to take it. Good evening, Zay. No, listen, we got to take it today. We got to take it big time because I watched Arsenal before against Chelsea, and I was thinking, it's mad watching them and their energy levels compared to ours. And they're playing Europa League as well.
But they rotate.
Of course, I'm going to get to that. Here's my analysis, right? What it felt like to me in the first 10 minutes was, do you remember when we had Ollie and obviously Ranić after that, where we always used to get battered in the first 10 minutes. We were just this team that were dopey to begin with. I don't know what it was. Obviously, it was the way we set up, but we were... Coaches knew the way to get United was to really go at them in the first 10 minutes. And you obviously remember how many games we were behind who had to come back into it. So I looked at their team and I was like, shit, these guys, this is their best win of the season. Look how many players they got. Look at the squad. I'm like, they're massively underachieving, right? So I don't want to take it away from just all Man United shit. They deserve some credit because they're just not operating at the level they should be at. They should be way higher than that. They've got athletic players, everybody got skilled players. They've got a great bench. Forget about Unai. You know what Unai does, right? But this was like obviously the new manager bounced as well for him, and they were really hungry to play for them guys. I mean, look, who's come out against Man United this season like that I can think of. I can't remember the Brentford and Brighton games, but who's come out as like that? Maybe
Brentford
City to a degree. Huh?
Brentford and Man City.
Yeah, Man City, they come at us like that. So
And
I don't want to take too much away. But the problem was,
Brentford,
again,
man. Remember Brentford as well, Brentford.
yeah. Okay, fair enough, right? But when I look at the game, look at the analysis now, I'm saying to myself, okay, look, you said it, I said it, right? Of why about the Europa League, etc., and where we're being stretched. We cannot cope with playing more than just the league. The squad is not good enough just to play more than the league. Now, I listened to before. We've got a squad that's big, but it's a shite squad. It's not a squad of quality. It's just a squad of numbers. It's not a real squad. Their squad, Aston Villa's squad, is better than our squad, I think, if you look at it carefully, right? Here's the thing. So once I saw that 10 minutes, I was like, you don't fucking rotate. You allow a team like that to come at us. I think Mundo nailed it. This was a Fred game. It really was. Because you need the energy to be in the face of those guys. You can't just let them run at us all day long. And they're fast players. They came at us. You see Leon Bailey. You saw those guys. You saw Watkins. You saw the guy who actually redeemed himself. I forget his name. The one who scored the third goal. And you got Buendia as well. He's a top player. They were on at us, right? And we succumbed badly. What was the piece of play that gave the free kick away for Digne to score? What was it? Can someone remind me what happened there? I was trying to think about that.
Luke Shaw and Martinez, one of them fouled.
Yeah, one of them. It was an errant pass that caused I think Luke Shaw to make a last-ditch tackle to stop the guy from having a shot. So that's because we were stretched by the pressure that these guys were overloading us with, right? So then,
did you notice the distances between United?
Yeah, of course.
And United defense.
We struggled. Yeah, but no, we struggled with their press today. We really struggled with their press per first half. But then let's just take away that. Let's just take away the horror 10 minutes, right? If you look at like maybe 25 to 45 minutes, or maybe let's say 30 to 45 minutes, we started to boss the game. And we got a lucky equalizer, but the pressure we were building was great. But even in those moments, like we just don't create clear openings. We just don't. They're sort of like wishy-washy, a little bit of luck. Maybe it goes to, the ball drops in Ronaldo or somebody, and we get a chance. We don't open teams up. We threaten, and then like we went for it. You saw we going for it in the second half. We really went for it. Too much. Bang, counter-attack goal. And that after that third goal went in, we were not going to recover from that. That damaged us psychologically. And then the fatigue.
Can somebody tell me once the last time Man United scored 3 goals away from home? Long time.
Long time. No, but no, we don't look capable of. We don't open up teams. We're not that type of team. But after the third goal went in, huff and puff, but ain't doing shit. Right? We were finished. We were absolutely finished. But again, the analysis again is like, do we blame Ten Hag for keep playing too many of the same players? Is it the squad that's too light? Was it Aston Villa, a better team on the day? Let's be honest, Hungary, new man of bounce, all that shit. Was it that? It's probably a mixture of all three of them. People keep saying that Martinez had a terrible game. I don't think he had a terrible game. I think Casemiro had a game, but you cannot leave Casemiro on his own like that. You can't leave Casemiro against those guys. You can't. You just can't.
Let's go to Manny. Manny, how did you think Martinez played? Because you were at the game, innit? On TV, it looks one way, and being at the game looks differently. Where obviously your players, we have to give credit to your players. The rotation of your front three, bringing into the pockets. You know what I mean? Leaving one-on-one with Lindelof. Especially you targeted Lindelof today. I saw that you were targeting Lindelof because Martinez is far more aggressive, and Lindelof at times is too passive. But what did you think of Martinez? That's the first time you saw him live, yeah? What did you think?
Yeah. I thought Martinez was decent. I wouldn't say it was too bad as I'll say some United fans are saying. I thought he was decent.
I thought he was.
He was decent. I thought, like you said, Lindelof, we did target him, and Ollie Watkins, he was basically dropping in deep and linking the play, and that's the thing that he hasn't been doing well recently as well. So like he was linking the play and letting Bailey make the runs in the channels and stuff like that, and that worked. I'll say most of the game, but like you said, Lindelof, he was the man that we had to, I'll say, target, and it worked out. You know what I mean?
It did work out. It did.
Yeah.
It certainly did. Who was your man of the match for Villa? Who are the 3 players that stood up for you?
It's quite a few to pick from, Nuruddin, I'm going to go for Leon Bailey. I think he needed this, and he needed this a lot, because we touched on it yesterday. He has been inconsistent, and he hasn't been getting the GA. He hasn't been getting it. And And like today, he got the goal earlier on in the 7th minute. And we touched on it yesterday as well, Nuruddin. You lot had to come to Villa Park and quiet the crowd down. And that's the thing that you never done. Because we scored earlier on, the crowd got G'd up. And we carried on from that. The momentum kicked
We
in.
predicted it. It's almost we predicted it from last night.
Yeah, exactly.
We said
Yeah,
the first goal is vital. If you got it, it's good night, Vienna, for us. If we get it, we're going to be danger on the counter. So Leon Bailey, at times he was taking a piss. At times he was taking a piss.
Nah, that was a foul, Nuruddin, though. You see Martinez, I think he elbowed him. That was a foul. I was right behind that.
That's Martinez, though. That's what he does, bro.
I don't think it was a foul.
He don't give any inches. Sometimes he'll take it all the way up to the line. But I'd rather have defenders who do that, who will risk getting sent off, than defenders who are passive. And that's what it was today for us. But Tom, I can't see this being fixed because the Glazers are putting it out there and saying we're not going to spend money in January. But big up Javas goes, and Nuruddin, my point was that 17-minute comment was Villa didn't dominate us in the first half, as some people had said. No, of course they didn't dominate us. What they did the first 15, 20 minutes they did, right? 17 minutes, right? When they got the 2 goals, what they did was they just chilled and sat back. And at times, they couldn't even believe it themselves that they were 2-0 up, really. Because you see Emery literally screaming and coaching from the touchline. Him screaming his head off at them. And then we built the pressure. We got a lucky goal. Well, you could say maybe we're lucky. Maybe you could say Villa were unlucky. We got back in the game, and they were just countering us. They sat back to counter-attack us. But in the second half, I thought we run out of ideas. I don't know why you couldn't take off Ronaldo and play Martial in the middle, so at least he can link the play. At least we can play to somebody's feet. Instead, he brings Martial on and plays Martial effing being number fucking 10. He's never been a fucking number 10 in his life. He looked lost. It was useless. It was useless. The Glazers are already giving out that they're not going to spend. We've got one of the biggest squads in the Premier League. I think there's 30 players registered.
Yeah.
How that the maths doesn't go, because one of the things what people get gassed about and go, oh, but this transfer was good. He got all the players he wanted. Okay, but how many players did we get rid of? How many players did we get rid of? We didn't get rid of enough. So for me, I have no allegiance to any player in this football team, other than Martinez. Because if somebody said we're going to get rid of Martinez, I'm like, what? He is a fighter. He's a warrior. Casemiro is a fighter, a warrior. But he hasn't got the legs. And at times today, he got exposed because he hasn't got the legs. I'd love to know what Manny thought about Casemiro, watching him for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, Casemiro's a world-class player, but like you said today, he hasn't been the same as he was, recently. Like you said, he hasn't got the legs. I know how old is he now?
He's 30.
Yeah, so he's quite old, but the thing is, it was your whole midfield. I wouldn't say it was just him. It was your whole midfield that was...
No, at times, he was the only one for me. He was our best player. He was our best player on the pitch today. He was by far our best player on the pitch. But Tom, how does this look going further? Because the Glazers saying they're not going to spend. They said they overspent in the summer. How is this a new manager who's coming in where Raniak said we need 10 players and everybody started all over the British football media. They all started falling over, laughing their heads off at what he was saying. That is going to come to bite us. To me, this doesn't go. And I'm not being reactionary. Saeed saying top 4 still on, 1 loss doesn't. Listen, this has been coming. This has been coming, and I've kept saying to you guys, it's unsustainable. I see what I watched with my own eyes there at West Ham, and I said it's unsustainable. We saw it against Real Sociedad. We saw it again tonight. I can't rotate, to me, he has to show and play the crap players. He has to, because these players is also, they've got an eye on the World Cup as well. Most of us forget. But January, if he doesn't get 3 players, Manchester United might as well can finish 8th or 9th with 1 little shit trophy. But go ahead, Tom.
No, well, I don't understand how the ownership, to be honest with you, can complain about overspending. I mean, they waited 3 months for a player that was never coming. They then released the cash last minute for Anthony, who you could have got for half the price in June. You then buy him toward the back end of August. I mean, what is there to complain about? If you don't hire football operators to run your football club, what do you get? Mediocre, and you just waste money. Villa, for example, and I'm sure Manny's probably in this same position. Villa have a lot of money to spend.
Yeah.
But what's the one problem that Aston Villa have always had? They've never had the star attraction. They've never had the European football that they can attract the key quality players with. But what do they have now? They have an elite European manager who, has won European trophies, managed some of the biggest players in world football, been at some of the biggest clubs. That is their attraction now. That is the man who these players that are going to go there are going to follow in. Ten Hag, he's got what? If I'm being fair, 3 of those players that he bought in the summer are probably his players. That was Anthony Eriksson and Malacia Martinez, so probably 4. The Dubravka one, I just don't even go there about that because he's never probably even going to play half the games for Man United anyway. But that's 4 players. Malacia, in many cases, is probably going to be a squad player, if we're being totally honest, unless he develops in the last couple of years. So suddenly
he's a young player. He's a young player getting used.
He's a young player. That's the thing, and that's why we bought him. But you had 3 players in the squad of an 11 that, ideology plays into the factor of those 3 are Ten Hag's players out of 11. You need half of a squad of a manager's players to want to implement a style and actually a way of playing. Because if you don't get the players in, you won't play the style of football. And if these owners don't want to invest, you can't complain, Joel, Avram, you can't complain. You've spent the money. It's there. Yes, you can say all you want. You've spent well over £1 billion. You always quote about this. But where the hell is the football club? Nowhere near where it should be. Nowhere near. You can get some world elite operators in the sporting departments. You can get a Luis Campos when he was available. Jesus Christ, you had Ralph Ragnick at your own football club. And you pushed him away because he told the truth, and that was the key point. When he said 10 new players, people were laughing. People were thinking, "What's this guy? No, he's come from Germany. He's got no elite pedigree. He's won jack all in the game. He's won nothing in the game, but he's built an energy drink into 2 football clubs. And you're saying that the man's not a genius. The man knows an eye for a player when he sees them, but. What do we have? Mediocre operators who have been recruited from where? Within. Because John Murtough, I'm sorry, actually, do you know what? I can ask another football fan. Manny, would you take John Murtough, your football director?
No way, no way.
Fletcher?
No, 100% not.
100% not. Because why football fans probably don't even know who these people are? Because they don't have a CV in football. But if you look at some of the world operators out there, who's going to want to work with these people? But there's no ethos at this football club, and we'll say it before, and we'll say it until we're blue in the face. Until our manager has, I would say, about 6 of his own players in this team, I don't expect to see anything of a Ten Hag style of play or a consistent run of games where we're winning comfortably. You look at Arteta when he first went in at Arsenal, he brought in 3 players, couldn't get a system going, couldn't get a style going. People were calling for his head before the end of December. You look at him now, he's had a couple of transfer windows, he's had the time, he's had a proper structure around him to get the right players in for his system. And you look at Arsenal, they're jetting off and they're flying. Zemias is having a laugh in the chat with us. But that was the banter club 2 or 3 years ago, wasn't it? Who's the banter club now?
We're still about.
You know what? Nobody's laughing, but us, we're laughing at a sense.
Listen, we hold the banter trophy, 100%. And I'll come to you, Mundo. It's unsustainable, Mundo. It's unsustainable. Every manager where Man United have been in the Europa League had to make a choice. This is on. You know what? It's unbelievable circumstances because of this shitty World Cup in the winter. The games we've had to play, and now somebody's telling me that the FA are going to investigate. If he gets found guilty, right? The difference is that if he gets found guilty, he's 3 months, 3 matches out. I don't know if that's true, if he's just trolling us. But apparently Martinez, but let me just get this super chat. Saliba now is the best centre-back in the league, and Jesus is the hardest worker in the league. Okay. Well, we can give you that. You got a snide 1-0 win today against shitty fucking Chelsea. But Newcastle are going to wrap them up next week. Don't you worry about that. Newcastle are going to wrap them up. But you get giddy, lad. You get giddy. All right? Get giddy. Because there's only one way. When you're up there, say me, I say, there's only one way down, mate. And we know Arsenal not going to win the league, even though I would like Arsenal to win the league. I don't want Man City winning the league. I would like Arsenal to win the league, but I don't think you're going to do it. So if Martinez goes out, Mundo, that's 3-match ban. But we already know the FA's got something against Man United because we've already had to answer so many different things. And we know that when Henderson did whatever he did, he said whatever he said, all of a sudden they can't find the evidence. And then he gets off scot-free. So it's going to be very interesting. I've seen lots of blows, lots of violent play in all this season. But if Martinez now, they're going to make an example of him because he's Argentinian. We already know that. We've got a biased FA. But this is super interesting. We lost Greenwood, Cavani, Ronaldo, over the hill, Martial, injury prone, arguably the biggest club in the world by name. Yeah, of course. So how do you see it going forward, Mindo? Because Oli had to make a choice at the end. Jose had to make a choice at the end. Do you think it would suit us to get knocked out of the Europa League? Or do you want to be in it to win it?
I said this before. Europa League is a distraction. And some people were saying, oh, no. We should prioritize Europa League. It's our chance of Champions League. But look how many games you have to play. Our squad is not good enough. I'd rather... So what you're saying is, these people who say prioritize Europa League, is play your second string in the league then. Because the squad's not good enough to play your first 11, our strongest 11 in both competitions. It's just not. It's not strong enough. And ordinarily what you would do in these types of competitions is you would play a mix of first teamers and maybe some youth team players in some of the group games, some of the dead rubbers that you have in Europa League, like you win your home leg or away game and then you play the home game, you put some youth team. We're not even good enough to do that. Every game, every group game was like a final in Europa League. It should never be like that. Right, that tells you, even against Omania Nicosia, we needed a last-minute goal against them at home. Every game, there is no small game for Man United anymore. Every game is a struggle with the squad. So you have to prioritize. Yeah, what is it going to be? And don't forget, are we going to put? I'd rather chance my arm over 38 games than throw all my eggs in a basket in the knockout football. When you get a Barcelona or one of the big boys who are dropping down from Europa League, Champions League, and then they beat you over 2 legs, that's it. You're out of the competition. So I'd rather concentrate on the league because I don't think we're good enough to win the Europa League. I'm being honest. I don't honestly think we are good enough to win that tournament. And the Carabao Cup against Villa, I hope we just put all the kids out. I want out of that tournament as well. I think you can see it's not like Newcastle all of a sudden have got a bad boy team. They're playing once a week. That's the advantage they've got over all the other teams fighting for top 4. They play one game a week. That is why they're flying, because they're only playing one game and every other team around them is getting fatigued. Champions League, Europa League during the week, and we're all playing each other, the big boys. So when the FA Cup comes into play, when the Carabao Cup comes into play, and we're still in the Europa League, that's 4 competitions. This squad is not surviving 4 competitions. I'm sorry, it is not. So you've got to pick which one are we going to prioritize. For me, it's the league. And just on the Ronaldo thing again, I feel that he's this season's Harry Maguire. I honestly think that. Honestly, last season the problem was Harry Maguire. He played irrespective. Now I think we're in a position where, like, giving him the captain's armband, for me, I know I look at the team that went out to them, and I suppose you think, who else could award the armband? But it seems to me now like Ronaldo's going to play. And as I said before, and someone said in the super chat about Rashford giving, that's not what I was saying at all, right? So use your common sense. What I'm saying is when Rashford plays the number 9, he offers more to the team. Yes, he misses chances, but he offers more to the team.
At least he's getting in the positions to miss.
Yeah, he's getting in the positions to miss, and it means that there's space and creates space for other players on the pitch. They're not all looking for Rashford. When Ronaldo's on the pitch, all of the players are playing towards him and he's static and he doesn't move. And as you said before, he offers nothing up front. So now that Tony Martial is fit, God knows how long that's going to last. Ten Hag's got an interesting dilemma, right? Is he going to put Martial in? Because that's going to upset Ronaldo. We know that's going to upset Ronaldo. So what's he going to do? For me, for the benefit of the team, Martial goes straight back in. I don't give a damn if he's 70% fit. Because a 70% fit Martial is better than the current Ronaldo we've got up front at the moment. And if you don't, and I've said this, I'm not repeating myself, but look at the statistics. How many chances do we create and how many goals do we score with Ronaldo in the team? We don't score more than one. And it's not sustainable. And Fulham next week, they are a very tidy outfit, very underrated. They're going under the radar. We need legs. We need someone who's going to play up front, who's going to move their defenders around, because we need to fight fire with fire. We got pressed today by Villa. Ordinarily, like we saw against the Tottenham, I know Tottenham don't press, but against Chelsea, against Tottenham, we started the game quickly in both of those games, very quickly, and we put them under pressure straight away. And that's how Man United should be playing front foot football straight from the kickoff. But can you do that with Ronaldo? I'm not sure you can.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. What's going on? I'll come to you, Bumbaye. You said back to life, back to reality. I put a tweet out. Got the right manager. Right, we've got a couple of warriors on the pitch now. Martinez, Casemiro. Even though I would love to have had him at the age of 25, 26. But the wrong owners. Man United do not sell players, cannot get rid of anybody. The club stopped Aaron Bissaka going out. So then a right back could have come in. But they stopped him. West Ham and Crystal Palace were interested. For me, I don't look at Player FC anymore. I just look at I think, who's good enough for Man United. Where do you see... Can you see Erik Ten Hag's dilemma? And I'm not being too reactionary, but I actually can see him walking.
No, I think Erik Ten Hag is doing a good job. I think. Let
me just get the super chat before you begin. Sorry, bro. Big up our business. Says today was poor. Yesterday was awful. Watching the under 21 suffer another defeat to our rival City. The club's failing behind in the department. You need to go and have our base. Go and check out the training ground. Go and check out the stadium. Next time you're at Old Trafford, the shit is falling apart, mate. The ship is sinking. Simple. Go ahead.
I think he's doing a good job. I think it's important that he keeps everybody on side. Some of these players, I understand that we want rid of them. We want new players, and I think we'll get them. We will get some players, but it can't all happen. I don't think you're going to get anybody in January. I think this is it. Well, I just don't think so. Because January 1, you've got to understand we've got a World Cup, and signings are sparse in January anyway. People don't want to be moving mid-seasons. The only thing that might happen is maybe something with Ronaldo.
It's always after the World Cup. Teams, by the way, if you looked at the history of after a World Cup, that's where the most transfers are. Even though it's January, I expect a lot of players to move this January. Let me just get a super chat quickly. Same Yasser says, Nuruddin, Arsenal gets in Saha, Madison in January window, and Ivan Toney. That's why we could win the league. If you get Ivan Toney when he's betting, right? I'll bet you this. You're not getting Ivan Toney for less than 70 million. Go ahead, Bombay.
Are you sure?
That's what they're getting. Yeah, you can go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to get this.
So, bro, look. Let's say that the Glazers are not going to get anybody. Then it's in the interest of the manager to make friends of everybody that's a potential problem. And this is what I've been talking about. We want to get behind the players, whether it's Ronaldo, whether it's Maguire. We know what it is. But you are going to need all these players. I'm somebody that believes I want to stay in the Europa League. and do what we can do there. And I want to do well in the league. And I want him to use his brain, and I want him to think about, you know what, we're going to go with this team for this game. There's no point in just throwing the Europa League away because, yeah, there are going to be better teams than us in it, but it's a way into the Champions League. And because it's a knockout tournament, anything can happen. By the same token, I think we are not at the moment a team that is good enough to say we should be getting top four. What we are is a team in the running for top four. And that's what we started off with before the season kicked off. So I wouldn't throw anything away. He needs to manage a large squad that he's got. There are good players in there, and he's getting a tune out of players that we were thinking were done. And we have had some good performances. But I will keep saying it again. I don't really know Erik ten Hag. I'm learning on the job like he is. I see a lot of good things that Man United are doing. But I also understand that we will have days like this. Today's game, I think Jarvis is credible in what he's saying to an extent. We didn't play particularly well, but sometimes against certain teams, and this was exactly that today with this manager, if they start fast and you start slow, which is something that Erik ten Hag has to fix, just like he has to fix breaking down low blocks. These are problems that have existed since Ferguson left. What he's got to what we have to understand is when you go 2-0 down after 11 minutes at Aston Villa's ground and it's Unai Emery that's managing, there's only one way to play and see him. When you go down,
can you say that again? Can you say that again? We couldn't hear you. You dropped off for a minute. Just say that sentence again.
When you go down after 11 minutes, 2-0 to an Unai Emery team away at Villa, there's only one way to see that game out, which is to low block and just counter-attack. So, like Brentford, yeah, you know what? We had the ball, we recycled the ball. It's not easy for anybody to find any space when there's 6-7 big lads in the box. The game's done because goals change games. What happened to us today is very similar to what we managed to do to Arsenal. We went to Arsenal, we defended resolutely, but what did we do? We banged the first goal. Then we just picked them off. Once we got the second, we thought, yeah, we're going to get the third, and we did very quickly. That's all that happened today. Goals change games, so we have to start fast. Erik ten Hag has to get them starting fast. He's got a decent team there. I don't look at this team and look at it and think, it's not like that. Erik ten Hag, I said it at the beginning of the season, I'm not going to play the game and say, you know what, he needs 10 new players, because no manager gets 10 new players. Not even Mourinho at Chelsea gets 10 new players. Not even Pep gets 10. You got 4, and they're good players. They've improved the team massively. You need, like Conte is going to need, like a few managers need, everybody has deficiencies. It's going to take some time and a few transfer windows, but you've got to manage your resources and be smart. You know what I mean?
Well,
be smart.
I think we are. I think we're different. This is where I disagree with you. We've had an unbalanced squad because we keep sacking managers. Then we back a manager. Then we don't fully back the managers. Then that's what we do. That's the cycles. Man United is set up only to get one thing. They're only to get top 4. Let me just get this super chat from Samia. Samia says, Newcastle playing the most entertaining football. Yeah, they're actually physically very dominant. So Newcastle, I told you people, Newcastle are not coming. They've arrived. And everybody used to give me a hard time about their manager when I was saying under Jose. When we were under Jose, I was like, I'd rather have their manager than Jose. People used to laugh at me. Who's laughing now? Who's effing laughing now, you clowns? Brother, so somebody in the comments says, Manny, somebody in the comments says, what do you expect? What's your expectation of Villa this season now that you got Unai Emery? And was Gerrard, did this show that Gerrard was really underusing? Because Bombay, where we agree, and Irfan, where we agree, you've got really good players, man. You can't say Villa don't have players. You've got really good players.
Yeah, but we got good players, and like I said yesterday as well, most of it was down to Gerrard and his tactics. It was very, very poor. But what do you say for my expectations this season? It's just about staying up. It's about staying up and moving as high as possible in the league, because I think we're 13th in the league right now, but the bottom and the mid-table, the points are quite close together. So right now for Unai Emery is to get as much points until the World Cup starts, and then hopefully in January we get a few more additions into the club, because I am hearing that he's going to be backed by our owners. So hopefully we get a few players for Unai Emery, and then we kick on from there and just finish as high as we can, to be honest with you. Because like you said, we have got quality players, and the thing with Unai Emery now is he needs to get the best out of the players we've got now. Like Diego Carlos, I think he's going to be out till the end of the season. Boubacar Kamara, he came on today, came on in the second half as a substitute. He done well. So, and Luka Dean as well. He's been injured, but like I said, the players we've got, the quality, and the thing Unai Emery needs to do now is get the best out of them, because like you said, they're quality players.
You know what? I look at that Ramsey kid and I think, oh, we could do with him.
Yeah, he's a quality player.
Somebody who's got that running power. His running power and like isolating people in the middle.
I think he drives the ball as well, and that's what we needed, a ball carrier.
Yeah, we don't have that. Yeah. I think his passing can improve. I do see him fall away a bit sometimes, but he's still.
I think he's young as well. He's young as well, yeah.
Is he 20 yet? Is he 20?
Yeah, I think he's at 20. Yeah.
Expect £100 million bid from Man United in January. After one game, that's what our owners do.
Yeah.
Nah, no way.
Followed swiftly by the end of his career.
Exactly.
I said, N will say no one can coach. No one coach will only Saudis. Okay. No, we don't need a Saudi to own us, mate. The same answer comes back. It says it's time to admit Sancho is a flop and Saliba is better than Rio.
Now to drink.
Stay off the pipe, man.
Stop smoking the purple haze, Zane. Put it down.
That's it. Listen, guys, honestly, I don't know. I'm not going to get carried away with the defeat, because I knew this was coming, because I said, and I only call it as I see it, people. It's unsustainable in a season like this where there's so many league. Listen, if we had the normal Europa League and it wasn't jam-packed, the Premier League season wasn't jam-packed because they tried to get so many games in before the World Cup, you might say, yeah, you know what you're talking about in terms of congestion and in terms of fatigue and tiredness. But those things are colliding. Mundo said to you, we play so many games, fly all over the place in the Europa League. And then Thursday, Sunday doesn't equate. It does not work. It does not equate. It is the way it is. I think something's got to give, because he has to realize, it's called self-preservation. He has to realize one of the things, because if Man United keep getting beat again, the pressure's going to build again on him. That's what's going to happen. And I don't want that, because I think he's the right manager. And when you say Boumbaye, when you say, not every manager gets what they want. No, the guy that was there for 6 months told us Man United need to play the modern way football, because we've been playing low block football for 3 to 6 years. Man United have been playing low block football for 6 years. To play the modern way, Manchester United need 10 players. And that's still stands.
Look, bro, do you know, structure, I'm not disagreeing with that, but nobody gets 10 players in one transfer market. We've got 4
players. I'm not saying he'll get to 10 players. You got 5. Man United need to get 3. And in the summer, we can only then go and get 2. And that's it. But the Man United need, now they're saying Diego Dalot is suspended for the cup game. It had to be, because I would have had to take him out of the team anyway. Today, he was absolutely gone dead on his feet. And when you're fatigued, you can't think, you can't do all of the things that you need in a game. Can't. I want to just quickly ask you all guys the question. This is my belief. Am I right or wrong to believe that for Man United to play the way Erik ten Hag wants to play, Man United can't play any other way other than have the aggression and intensity in every game? To play the way he wants us to play. So when we can't do that, we're fatigued. Should fans be surprised that we're getting beat? I'll start with you, Irfan. Irfan, are you there? Irfan's sleeping. Irf, did you hear the question?
No, just
Listen,
It's
I heard the
depressing
question.
sometimes when I think about this shit. Backwards forwards, a shitty fucking team. Backwards forwards, up down, man.
Listen,
And
I'll
you
ask the
said at the
question
start of the
again.
season, Nerd, and you said it would be a rocky road.
Listen,
You
I'll ask
said,
the question again. I'll ask the question again. For Man United to play the way that Eric Ten Hag wants to play,
Yep.
we have to play with aggression and intensity, and we have to play on the edge
yeah,
in terms of energy levels.
yeah, but who's going to provide that? Who's going to provide that intensity? Who's going to provide it?
So we can't expect that. So get used to getting smashed.
Yeah,
Like this.
Nuruddin, you said before there's going to be plenty of bumps in the road. If as long as we're playing all these extra cups, we're going to keep getting a bump. And we got a reality check today because Villa played us. Villa showed real heart of fight, desire, and this was a big kick up the backside to get them going, and they'll push on from this. They deserved it, but we just showed. But remember, part of the mistake is with Ten Hag as well to pick the team as well. Part of it is that as well. But he's playing too many same players. He's not rotating well enough. You've already highlighted all the problems with being Ronaldo up front and what he brings and what he doesn't bring. It was good to see Martial back, but we're just going to have more of these. I mean, that's the first time, Nuruddin, we've conceded 3 goals since the start of October. Since the start, that was the first goal actually in open play we've let in since the start of first week of October.
Yeah.
So we've been solid to a degree.
Is that since we got battered by City?
I think they said since the first week of October.
Now we've been beaten by. We got beat, didn't it? We got
open play, Nuruddin. Open play. Yeah. It's got to be.
Well, it is what it is. Listen, same as it's a Nuruddin. You should you get expressions on the show. He needs therapy after today. Shout out, my brother.
Arsenal totally bossed Chelsea today. Boston, totally Boston. They really did. If you watched, I don't know if you watched the game or not, but they bossed them
all
properly.
tight Arsenal.
Yeah, they played quality football.
I'd rather have Arsenal in the league. Yeah. But
guys, quick question here.
Listen, go ahead. Should Man United get used to it? Like I said, I'll ask you to Mundo, and I'll Manny as well to you, because Manny watches United from the peripheral. He's a diehard Villa, as you can see. But for Man United to play the Eric Ten Hag way, we like the football that you saw Mumbai against Spurs, and the first time you saw against Chelsea. That football, Man United have to play on the edge. If they haven't got the legs and the energy, how can we then expect us to not get beat, to win the odd game here, to get beat? Because we haven't got enough players in the squad to be able to play the way he wants to play.
Who's that question to?
I mean,
to you, and then I'll go to Bumbaye.
Okay.
Yeah, go on, Mundo.
Well, we need to play that way because we've seen that that's the only way we generally get results, especially against the smaller teams. At home against some of the bigger teams, at first we had that kind of low block, counter-attacking style football, but that doesn't work against the smaller teams. And also, it's about getting consistency. So you can't be high pressing, high energy one week and the next week flat, because that's not developing football. You've got to play consistently the same way. If that means changing players, subbing players out who are fatigued and putting fresher players in, that's what he's got to do. He's got a squad. He's got to utilize it. It's not a great squad. The quality will drop off when you put certain players in and take certain players out. But it's the only way he's going to make it through the season, because you can't do it Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and keep the same 11 week in, week out. Because we've seen that doesn't work. Players get broken. And we were doing that playing low block football. Imagine doing that playing high pressing, high intensity football, which is what we expect as a fan base. Now we've seen it in action against Tottenham and Spurs, Chelsea and other teams. That's the way we want Man United to play. That's the way the manager wants us to play.
That's the modern way. Yeah.
And if we want to get into the top 4, we're going to have to. But that's why we need to prioritize certain competitions over others, because the players will get broken, and especially when you throw in the World Cup middle of the season, it's that for me is a big issue. Like, fingers crossed. I'm happy that Sancho's not going, even though he's not on form, but we're going to need him. I hope to God Rashford doesn't go. Martial, we know, is not going. So, they've got 4 to 6 weeks of recuperation. Hopefully, they'll use that time to work on the way we play, the intensity, getting their fitness or whatever. Ronaldo's going. Not really bothered about that. Maguire's going.
Casemiro's going. Diego Dalot's going. Luke Shaw's
That's
going.
the big thing.
Ericsson's going.
That's the big thing.
Ericsson's going.
Yeah.
7 or 8, 9 players of our team is going.
That's it. Red's going.
You know what? Before we go just on Donny quickly, I think you have to understand what kind of a player Donny is. Was he great today? Was anybody great today? No. Was anybody great in the last 2 games where he was given a chance? No. Man United did not control the midfield today, and they did not control the game yesterday. Donny van de Beek has been told to go stay up the pit and be closer to Ronaldo, and he's not done as good a job as he could. So at the end of the day, Donny, for me, he's been a miserable time at Man United. January might be the best part for him to part ways, where he's guaranteed to get a game, and now all of the United fans are looking at him because most of us who were asking to give him a chance, and now every performance is scrutinized, and now he's feeling the pressure.
Overly scrutinized.
Yeah, it's overly scrutinized.
Can I quickly ask a question though?
Yeah.
Do you know with Donny van de Beek, how many games has he started this season? Is it many more?
2.
So I wouldn't really judge him to be honest with you, too much then, because the thing with Donny van de Beek is he's a player that's neat and tidy. He wants to do this quick 1-2, and he needs a player like Casemiro next to him. I think today he was poor, but maybe if he starts against Villa in the Carabao Cup on Thursday, I think he'll be all right. I think he's a good player. I do think so. I think he just needs an anchor next to him.
But Manny, what you don't understand is that our fan base, so a lot of people wanted to give him a chance on the Ollie, innit? Right?
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, we got to give this guy 4 games. 4 games. Today was the first time he started a game in 18 months for Manchester United. 18 months. 18 months ago, it's the last time he started a Premier League game. That is disturbing and disgusting and disgraceful, right? So now, those people who were now try to come back at the other people who were like, should give him a chance. So now, when they watch him every game, they're like, he's done nothing, he's done nothing. Today is clear we miss Bruno. We miss Bruno's tenacity. We miss Bruno's energy levels. We miss Bruno's closing down, and we miss that. But it is what it is. But big up Super Nick. Everton has thrown in his own style and patterns to play in the bin. He cannot with what he has. And this league and the demands on the club won't allow it. Oh, my word. But go ahead, Bumbaye. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Super Nick is not right or wrong, but that's fair. That's where I am. I don't think I can absolve the manager and just, we've spent some money. We have a good side, and it's up to you to manage the competitions and make sure that we play the type of football that we're looking to play, and also most importantly, get a result. So, for me, Erik ten Hag is a manager that I don't know, but I was really happy because you guys have wanted Erik ten Hag, and he seems like the new blood of manager, the progressive, nice kind of football that I have seen we can play. Whether it's in 45 minutes, whether it's in 10-minute spells, or whether it's for a full 90. I like what he's doing. I like him as a manager. And he does need some players. Everybody can see it. He needs some players. And it's going to take some time. Unfortunately, everybody just wants to go into the future, but you can't. And today is going to happen sometimes. When you're ironing out kinks, you come with a plan. That plan went out the window after 11 minutes. And like Manny said, the crowd was G'd up. We could not quieten them down. I don't know if Manny or the Villa fans felt worried at all. It'd be worth asking that question. Did you feel worried? Did we look like we were going to break it down, do anything? I don't know. I just felt that, there are 2 problems that are evident in this club, in this side, that Erik ten Hag has to fix. He has to develop the forward play when it's a low block and open teams up better than we do. And he has to be able to start fast. He has to drill it in the heads of these players. We have to go and start fast. Whether we get a goal or don't get a goal, we can't afford to start slow, because if we go down like we did today, it's very difficult to get back in the game. And he's just, this is what, not even 20 games yet, not even at Christmas yet. So it's very early days. Yeah, we had the ball. Yeah, we did what we did, but the narrative of the game was pretty basic. There's not
For me,
much
the
to
biggest thing
look
is simple. The
at.
biggest
Do you know
thing
what I
is
mean?
simple. Ubabaye, we play through the middle. Man United create chances through the middle. We're getting
Mm.
worked out by teams now. The teams block the middle, and then there's no combination play, and that is at the coach's fault. I'm laying that in the feet of Eric Ten Hag. We don't have overlapping fullbacks. We don't have people who cross the ball that with accuracy. We don't have people in the box. We have to get more invention and more movement. And I personally believe with Ronaldo in the team, you're not going to get any of that. You're not going to get any dynamicism.
Let me ask you this then.
You're not going to get any kind of one-two playoff with stuff. You're not going to get any of that because he can't do that. He's playing like a Sunday league player. He is.
All right, fair enough. I take that on board, bro. But let me ask the panel a question. I missed the first half. If we say that the players are tired, the team is tired. The team is not tired in the first 5 minutes, the first 11 minutes of the game.
No, I agree.
It's not, is it? So I don't know. Usually you can see Man United. Okay, yeah, the boys are up for it today. Or usually within the first couple of minutes, you think it's going to be a long day. I don't know. When the game kicked off, you guys were watching. Could you tell straight away we were in for a long night, a long game, or did you think, we're up for it?
When we talk about tiredness, it's not just physical; it's mental as well. Like if you've played midweek and you've got a bit of heaviness in the legs, and you've got to G yourself up. You're going to an away ground, a team that is struggling. They've got a new manager, so they're going to be on it from day one.
7 days.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to match that intensity from minute one. And if you've got heavy legs and you play midweek and you're not quite on your game, then you get that kind of start what Man United got today, where you're down 2-0 within 11 minutes. So
you see, this is a dangerous game that we keep playing at Man United. We're not sure exactly who to assess. Are we assessing the players? Are we absolving the players? Are we saying the manager's absolving the players? What do you understand what I mean? It's very difficult to gauge the whys at this club.
Bombay, the manager makes his decisions. No, he's at fault for the tactics today and the personnel and the positions that which they played. And the players also at fault for not starting early out of the blocks. But we had heavy legs. Some of them tried to fight. But at the end of the day, Villa got their 2 goals, sat back, countered us. And Manny's happy. See Manny there? Happy as Larry tonight. Happy as Larry.
I was hearing the disrespect yesterday, Nuruddin. I can't remember who it was, but they're saying 3-0, 2-0. Casemiro's going to score a long shot. Bro, nothing of that happened at all. United got touched. Different energy, different.
We got violated. We got super violated, man. We got violated.
The feds are going to come through. They come through a murder scene.
And one thing on the tiredness thing, we're not the only team. It's like it's been noted like the last few weeks, the quality in the league.
Everybody.
Yeah, it's dropped off. Yeah. Like teams are tired. It's not just Man United.
No, it's also Mundo, another factor that people are not going to think about. No players want to miss the World Cup. No players want to miss the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and there's so many 100%. Players getting injured.
So that tackle you would normally go in for, you might like not go in.
You might shirk it
psychologically.
Psychologically, because you can see people getting injured, and World Cup is every 4 years. Players want to play in the World Cup.
The World Cup's ruined this season for me. I'm sorry, it has already. Yeah. Even though it's not even played yet, it's for me.
Effing bloody Qataris, they can piss off with their brand.
I think it's going to have a massive impact on.
And I think you know what I'd just say for Donny van der Beek again. It's a fair question, but it's way too early. He's just come into the team, and Donny van der Beek, man, I hope he could be a valuable asset to us. We know what he can do. And I think he's not bad in the defense. He can do some pressing. He's a reasonably decent all-round player, but it's far too early to assess him on today's performance because of the way the game went.
Listen, Alien Tunnel, I'm not having that because that's what he says every time we get smashed. Every time we get smashed, every time I says they didn't follow the rules. Well, I'm sorry. You need to get these rules into their bloody brain because today we saw it. It's never going to say they're fatigued. but he's fatigued himself. He's fatigued, and he didn't have enough days to plan it. Manny, Villa, the Villa fans, the Villa new manager, the Villa players had a whole week to plan for this game, and they looked fresher. They came at us. They used the crowd, and it was what it is. What it is. But to me, blaming Donny is not. I just want that kid to leave because I think that kid is cursed at Man United. He's cursed. It's never going to happen for him. I think
being cynical, if let's say, for example, I'm not sure that PSV would want him or do you want to join PSV, but if there's a deal to be had on the table, if we say you take him, we'll take Gakpo, or even if someone, if we want to get a right back, let's say we could buy Leverkusen, we want the right back, we take Frimpong, you take Donny, because I think we've got enough bodies in the midfield. I think the right. Obviously, we need more quality in the midfield. I don't think Donny's the answer. So we could trade him for somebody else, like a right back, or contribute towards a striker. Because if they're saying there's no money in the coffers to buy players outright, then we might have to. But we haven't got the structure. We haven't got the guys in place that have got the brains and the capacity to do a deal like that anyway. So what I'm saying is a bit of a moot point. But any other normal operating football club will be like, here's Donny and a few P's, and you send X, Y, and Z our way.
It is what it is, guys. Listen, big up to every one of you. We got touched up today. It's true. We got touched up, and I can't even look at the match stats even. But let me just go to it quickly. We got violated by Villa, man. Honestly. And you know what? I've been saying it. I keep telling you guys this is unsustainable because the level of intensity and aggression to play with the style Erik ten Hag wants to play, Man United can't do it. These players cannot do it because they've never done it in their lives before. We've got four players that can in this team, right? They can't do it. So we need to go and get players that can. And to me, Man United don't sign at least 3 players in January. I can't. A midfielder, a right back, and a striker. Man United not going anywhere. But the stats that 40, they had 42 possession.
Bro,
we had 58.
What's the budget?
We had 8 shots on goal. We had 3 on target. They had 4 on target. We had 3 corners. They had 3 corners, 5 corners, and the fouls we fouled more, but we didn't do enough tactical fouling for my
boys. What's the budget for an actual striker, a right back, and another midfielder that's going to actually add serious quality to this team? What we're looking at here?
For me, we're looking at 120.
Where are you shopping? Netto, 120.
120 for the 3 players. Yeah, I'll give you the right back. His name is Gusto. He plays for Lyon. He's a brilliant. Sorry, Manny, bring Manny back. He's a brilliant. He's a brilliant player. For Lyon, right back. Go and check out his stats of crossing the ball, leading to goals. He's a brilliant crosser of the football. Absolutely levels. We can get him for about 20 million at the most. And then I will split the striker. There's Benjamin Sesko. Man United can, if they pushed, they can get him for 50 million. And then I would go and get a midfield player that can play the ball, that is combative, that is a decent passer.
You got any in mind?
The kid that plays, I think, is Werder Bremen. It's Werder Bremen, or by the Leverkusen. It's not by. What's the other Bayern club? It's like a Bayern.
I don't mean to put you on the spot. I'm just like, who's out there?
Listen, Mönchengladbach. There's a guy that plays for there. The people are likening him to Kante. He's busybody who gets around the football pitch with high intensity. He's really good at passing. He's good at passing the ball, but he gets about the pitch, and he's good. He can break the lines as well. So,
what's one position do you guys think that you need to improve under? Just one position.
Right back. Centre midfield player to replace
centre forward.
And a striker. Yeah.
But the thing is, if we had a proper director of football, then we could get rid of some of the deadwood. That would generate some cash. Get the people, high earners, off the wage bill, and then you can spend in January. But we have to be realistic. That's not going to happen, is it? So we're not going to sign anyone.
Listen, look him up. His name is Kone. He's from Gladbach. Yeah, Gladbach. Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, but Nuruddin, it's a reality check in it, because obviously the problem with moving players on and getting new players in, we've got too many players that were bought for silly money on silly wages, and they can't move. They can't move from the club, so you can't move any of those.
Well,
And
that's
then you
what
look,
the director of football job's to do. But he
yeah, but
can't do
Nuruddin, you
it.
can't. You're only going to get a director of football when you kick these bastards out. You're not going to get any football director. It's not going to work.
Well, we've got one now, Efan. His name's John Murtagh.
Yeah, he's not a football director. He's a joker. You know he's a joke. Everyone knows. We know anyone serious about football knows this guy's a joke.
So basically, you boys are saying we're screwed, innit? Forget
No,
it,
no,
right?
no.
I'm gonna have to be
Let
a
me tell you.
City fan again.
Let me say,
Well,
Bombay.
yeah,
Let me just
but
say. No, today. No, wait a second, Nuruddin. Today just showed that because we're having some good results, the United fans have been getting giddy, or whatever word you want to use. That shit, we're going in the right direction. But we're gonna keep getting these kind of results, even if you go like next 5-6 games. Like, yeah, we do all right. We managed to wing it because Ten Hag, gets it together. You're gonna always be prone to this type of result. Whether it's after Europa League or FA Cup, whatever bullshit, because we're not close. We are way off until we get the bastards out, until we change the structure, until he gets his own players in, and it's a massive until and it's a massive if. So United fans have to be prepared. The whole season is going to be like this. You have to get into thick heads.
Listen, if you had a good director of football, you could get about 35 million from Maguire.
Nuruddin, you use the word if.
Listen,
Nuruddin, if.
15 million, you could get 15 million for Wan-Bissaka. You could get maybe 20 million for Donny, right? Who else?
Listen,
who
bro.
else have we got? We can move on. Who else
Fred.
can we move on?
Sell Fred.
Fred,
20
20
million.
million. Yeah, 20
Do you know
million.
what? I think in business, I've learned if you buy something and you have to virtually give it away, just cut your losses, because time is money. At least save the time. So I understand what you're saying, but what you're doing there. But
So
what
wait,
you're doing
try
there
and tell the
is
Glazers that about Maguire then. Try and tell Murtaugh that about Maguire then. Go on, let's use the same.
True, I get you, bro. And it's right. That is the ideal situation. Some better owners that really want what's best for this club and are not messing about. I get it. I agree with it. But I come sometimes from a reality because I know what we have. But what you're just naming there, 15 million for a 50 million pound player, 35 million for an 80 million pound player. I mean, you're basically saying this is a giveaway. And then you have to understand all the other managers, what problems did they have? They were willing to let players go, good players on big money, but nobody's prepared to pay the wages. Nobody's going to give Maguire 200 G's a week.
Listen, let me say
Yeah,
something to you now.
maybe Newcastle.
Let me say something to you now. Listen, let me say something to you now. I know for 100% fact, Harry Maguire is not a money guy. He wants to play football. Wan-Bissaka wants to play football. He was happy to go to either West Ham or Crystal Palace. Donny van der Beek just wants to get the fuck out of here, right? Right? Fred, for me, if you're not playing, he has to go because that's how he keeps his Brazilian in the Brazilian squad. If he's not playing, then he's not going to get picked. And he knows that he's not really good enough for the Brazil team. But the system that they play, he's one of the key players. So that's why these guys have got to go. Anthony Martial, I would let him go because I can't be asked with the injuries. So there's about 5 or 6 players I would get rid of if I was. Yeah. And go and get 5-6 players of quality that can be fighting and battling each other, who can play the modern way. Because I don't know if all of those guys that I mentioned can play the modern way and the way that we want to play. But guys, you know what? We could go on for another half an hour. It is what it is. Let's just let people know where we are. Big up Super Nick. Big up the Therapy Army. There's still nearly 200 of you in here. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. So, Manny, what's your new Twitter handle? You need to type that into that little bar there where your name is, man. What's your Twitter handle?
It's Manny Central, so it's capital M and then it's capital C.
Yeah,
Manny Central.
Manny Central. We got him on Twitter. We got him on Twitter.
You got it. You already got me on Twitter. Yeah, come on. Big up.
Yeah, we got him on Twitter, so make sure you give him a follow. Martin Mundo, you can find him on Twitter and also on this channel. Bumbaye is always on this channel. He don't faff about with Twitter. Actually, Bumbaye, some of Bumbaye's wild takes is better stay away from Twitter.
Be like a full-time job.
Irfan Rainey on Instagram for the music. Irfan Rainey. A lot of the political situation, what's going on, geopolitics and domestic politics, and also
Nuruddin, Pakistan saved my weekend. That's all I can say. All right, they saved my weekend. Otherwise, it would have been a shit one. Apart from the party last night as well.
There you go. Listen, big up Khalis. But at the end of the day, we didn't even need to add what he was talking about today. At the end of the day, Erik ten Hag, he's also the same way. The players didn't follow the rules, didn't follow the plan. But Eric, listen, Eric, all due respect, you didn't give them the correct plan. What the team that you put out there today was not good enough, and that result was coming. That result was coming. We got bullied. Manny's had a lovely, lovely food after the game.
Beautiful weekend. Like you said, Pakistan won, Villa won. A perfect weekend for Villa. Come on.
Manny's jumping. Manny's jumping for joy. Hey, another thing as well. Imran Khan survived that assassination. So
yeah, that's the third one. That's the third one.
That's the third
Yeah.
one. Imran Khan survived. But big up to every one of you. Like I said, guys, it's unsustainable. Man United do not have the quality and depth in the squad. This season, every team's gonna feel it. We're gonna feel it more than most. Why? Because Glazonomics of the last 10 to 9 years. The chickens have come home to roost. And I'm so sorry for Erik ten Hag. He has to deal with this BS stuff. What's going on in this club? We already know January is what? Dividends month. So Man United don't spend money in January. They take money out of the football club that they've never put in. It is what it is. We try to get behind the team. We judge it game by game. I think top 4 thing is done. For me personally, I think it's done. And I know some people think, oh, you're being reactionary, but I call it as I see it. You don't have to agree with it. I just call it as I see it. And the test of time, you know what I mean? The
only thing I pray is that the players that we've signed don't get dragged down by the garbage in the squad.
That is important, man.
That is vital. I hope that they keep their heads above, the water, until the manager can readdress the squad balance and get more players in, rather than them get sucked in to the mediocrity.
They are going to get sucked in because they're going to be overplayed, Mundo. I'm sorry to break bad news. They're going to get sucked in because they're going to be overplayed. They're going to be overplayed. And he's got to stop this thing with Eriksen. He's been fantastic for some of the games that we've won. Eriksen's been brilliant. But at this moment in time, Eriksen is not that guy. And I'm sorry to say, guys, Erik ten Hag cannot be as hard-headed as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was. Every manager is in their own way, but we need something better. We need a bit of difference in that dynamic in that midfield.
Fred, I'm telling you, you know what, Fred, right? Okay, he's not got the quality. I know I keep harping on about this, but he gives you that. We saw it against Tottenham. We just need that bit of energy.
Bro, he's busy. He's a disruptor. Just go hunting. That's what you do with Fred.
Put him in against Fulham. He's going to be needed. I'm telling you, we're going to have to fight in that game. We need fighters like him, Martinez. We need Anthony back as well. He's another big loss.
Yeah. And I'm sick of these people getting sick. But big up Manny, by the way. Big up to every one of you guys. It is what it is. Therapy Army. Win, lose, or draw. Glazers out, bankers out. Everything at this football club goes back to them. Everything goes back to them. And when you look at the transfer, don't just ever look at who we sign. Who do we let go? What wages do we clear? What wages do we clear?
Yeah.
And we don't let people go. Unless they go on a free. But big up Manny, man. And Manny, we're fair in this channel. This channel is quite fair. Congratulations to Villa. We wish you nothing but the best for the rest of the season.
Yeah, big up the Regents for having me on the show as well. Big up.
Yeah, man, let me know when you're in time. Next game, if you want me to come on your shows, let us know. Yeah, send me the link if you want to do it. So big up to you. And it is what it is, people. It's going to be a topsy-turvy season. Erik ten Hag's new to the league. He has to understand you have to go you have to go with toughness. You have to fight. There's certain games you have to fight the physicality. And today we needed a physicality against the Villa team that was highly motivated, and everybody's tried to prove something to the new manager. But it is what it is. We take it on the chin. We move on to Thursday to the little game of a Mickey Mouse Cup. We'll see what happens. Super Nick, there we go. The culture is already going down the toilet. Because people like Ronaldo are taking it there, innit? People like Ronaldo are taking it there. But it is what it is, people. Please smash a like on your way out to the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Make sure you tick that notification bell. Lets you know next time we're live. Peace, love, light. Take care.